or Tottenham falling out of the Big Six and being replaced by Aston Villa? Tottenham fans, tell us in the comments below. In today's video of Akbar's analysis, me and Ibrahim are debuting our new series. It's called the Big Six Chat. So let me just quickly explain it to you. Me and Ibrahim will be talking, reviewing and ranking the Big Six teams in the Premier League. Tell us in the comments if you enjoyed it. Let's get started. So first let's start off with explaining the Big Six in the Premier League.
So the Big Six are Manchester City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur.
Now, you may be thinking, why just these Big Six teams and not other teams like Everton, Leeds, Sunderland? But that's because it's not just about, who has better stadium, who's got better looking players. It's about trophies, money, global fan base and influence in big matches.
Fun fact for you, it was originally just a top four. Manchester United under Fergie, plus the invincible Arsenal, Chelsea and Liverpool.
Then big money came for Manchester City and Tottenham started to rise as popular contenders, and Harry Kane and Dele Alli started to form a great partnership with goals coming in for Tottenham, and Tottenham started to look scary. Now let's move on to who's the best team from the Big Six right now. Ibrahim, over to you.
Let's start with the obvious, the mighty City.
Yeah, under Pep, these guys have been dangerous. They've set the standard and have always been the scary big brother from the Big Six Premier League teams.
They control games arguably better than anyone. It's not just winning, it's how they comfortably win against top tier teams without breaking sweat.
Now Liverpool, still elite, just a dip in performances under Slot. Obviously, he's not going to win the Premier League again straight away. You need to give him some time. But under Jurgen Klopp, these guys were different. They built a solid team with solid players, crafted one of the best players the Premier League has ever seen, Mo Salah. And the team that Liverpool had under Klopp would compete with Manchester City week in, week out.
Now Arsenal, they deserve credit. Even though they finished second many times this season, they've come back stronger than ever. Their rebuild has been one of the best in the Premier League. Now, let's look at their rivals in blue. Chelsea always seem to be up and down, one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. Big spending but not big results. Chelsea fans, comment below what you think is wrong with your club.
Now, moving on to Manchester United, it's the same story with them. They're still rebuilding and recharging after that disaster class of management from Ruben Amorim. But third is quite the achievement for Manchester United. They should be proud. Last time at this point in the Premier League, they were 13th. Now, they're third. And I'm sure the fans will be pleased. So, what Manchester United need to do to improve is they need to go out there in the summer and spend some money, but sign Premier League proven players. Premier League proven is the key for Manchester United because they bring in players like Jadon Sancho, and he comes in and he doesn't do well. Ibrahim, we can both agree Sancho was a flop.
Yeah.
They need to bring in a replacement for Casemiro. Now let's take that for example. Bruno Guimaraes. We can have him. He's quite good. Casemiro even recommended him as well. He's quite good and I think he'll be a good replacement. Elliot Anderson as well, Premier League proven, even did well against us. Now, enough of Manchester United. Let's move on to their 2025 opponents in the Europa League final. Tottenham Hotspurs. Relegation is crazy. For a Big Six club, relegation, Tottenham, it's simple. You need to fix your club. You need to get the manager you want and you need to get the players you want in the summer. Otherwise, you'll be playing in the Championship. Right now, you're in the relegation zone. 2 points away from safety. Tottenham, I don't know what's happening. You need to fix your club up. Otherwise, it's looking bad. Now let's look at new teams rising. Ibrahim, there's probably two favourites here. Two teams that probably the most popular, probably the most obvious as well. Ibrahim, who are they?
Newcastle and Aston Villa. Let's start with Newcastle. Newcastle, big money coming in for them, but they can't get the players they want. Aston Villa, UCL proven strong squad. Both teams can replace Tottenham.
Ibrahim, you pointed this out as well. Newcastle, just say what you said for Newcastle again.
Look, they've got big money coming in for them, but they can't just get the players they want.
They can't get the players they want. Sesko, they wanted him, they didn't get him. Yeah? Instead they got Baltimore. They wanted Ekatike, they didn't get Ekatike. They sold Isak. They wanted Mbumo, they didn't get Mbumo. They wanted Cunha, they didn't get Cunha. Instead, they got Aaron Ramsdale. He was a good signing. He's doing well, but they can't use their money to good effect. I don't think. Well, obviously they got the money there, but it's not working because people look at Newcastle and they can't compete. Because when you think about it, against Barcelona, they lost like 10-2 on aggregate. Nobody's going to go there where they could go to better teams like Manchester United. Now let's move on to all-time ranking. Keyword all-time, not just this season. So, for me, number 1, Manchester City, just because of dominance in recent years. And they've always looked like a strong side and a scary side. And what scares me is the way they just rebuild without any consequences in the team. It's just like, it's scary, like the season before last, when people thought, you know what, it's Arsenal's. And then City just clicked. And when City click, you're not stopping City. And City went all the way to win the Premier League that season. Now, number 2, Manchester United. Rich history, lots of trophies, biggest fan base in the world. And they're looking like they're starting to find their feet again in 3rd place. Now, number 3, Liverpool. 6 Champions League titles and 20 PL titles. They got a strong squad, but players starting to leave. They're going to need to rebuild, and people think that's not that hard, but it is very, very hard to rebuild, and especially when you're a big team like Liverpool where the standards are high. Number 4, Arsenal. They look like PL contenders. They're probably going to win it this year, but like we said, it's all time, so I can't just say, oh yeah, because they won it this year, they're first. They've not really won any big trophies except Mickey Mouse trophies, the FA Cup. So that's why I'm putting Arsenal down in 4th. Now 5th, Chelsea. Big money, big players, and no big results. Now, lastly, Tottenham. It's simple. Fix your club. If you want to stay at bottom in our rankings, carry on. Carry on the way you are. But if you want to get up in the rankings, you need to fix your club. Because right now, you're struggling to beat teams like Sunderland. Ibrahim, time for your all-time rankings.
Now, in 1st, 6 Champions League titles, most of Big 6, and 20 PL titles. They are no joke. Liverpool. 2nd, Manchester City. Recent dominance is unmatched. 3rd, Manchester United. Amazing performances under Fergie and rich history. 4th, Chelsea. They got the money. They got the big boy trophies. 5th, Arsenal. No trophies except for Mickey Mouse trophies. Only from them recently. 6th, Tottenham. They're a joke. How are you a Big 6 club if you're fighting relegation? You know what? I'm going to say it. Brentford are a bigger club than Spurs.
Ibrahim, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. Okay, Liverpool, yeah, the first. Okay, most Champions League titles. But how does that make Liverpool the better team? Let's put this for example. When did Liverpool win those 6 Champions League titles? One was in 2019 against Tottenham, who are at the bottom of the Big 6. So I'd say that Liverpool, they got an easy run to win these 6 Champions League trophies. I think that ranking is good, but you need to swap Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester City are way better than Liverpool. You know, I'm going to say this, yeah? Liverpool don't compare to Manchester City. Liverpool just about compare to Manchester United. They don't compare to Manchester City. No one compares to Manchester City. Maybe Arsenal in recent years, but Manchester City are definitely the best team in the Premier League. And that's coming from a Manchester United fan. I'm sorry, but they just are. Now, that's it for the new series. Tell us your ranking of the Big 6 if you still think they exist.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Bye.